No words left, just say, oh, oh.
So sorry about that. The network has been terrible. Thanks to stream live in Nigeria, and this is always the story. I think it's high time we demand that something be done about it. I hope you haven't lost me again. Hello everyone.
Jesus.
Oh wow. Okay, so we are just waiting for our resource person. We're just waiting for our resource person now. Hi, hello, thank you for joining us. We're just waiting for Madam Nina now. I think she's having network issues from our end, but hopefully we can get her on here soon enough. Please bear with us. Thank you so much for joining us. So like we said, today we are celebrating the Global Wellness Day, which is just a day that we set aside to reflect, to talk about wellness, to talk about health, to talk about fitness, to talk about nutrition, to talk about preventive health. Because you see, when you talk about wellness, when you talk about healthcare, you're talking about putting in those measures that help you stay well, that help you stay healthy. When we talk about the concept of health, we have to understand that when we talk about well-being and health, we are looking at it from the point of view of the World Health Organization, which gives a perfect description for, well-being, for health. The definition is that health is not merely the absence of diseases, right? But is when you feel that you're healthy, both physically, you're healthy emotionally, you're healthy mentally. So we just try to capture all the aspects of health. We make sure that at the end of the day, we're talking about well-being, which is holistically. We're looking at mental health, we're looking at physical health, we're looking at emotional health, and even your social interactions, psychosocial, which is very, very important. I think setting a day aside, setting aside a day like today is very, very important, because when we start to talk about healthcare, where we talk about going to the hospital and treating disease conditions and treating managing diseases, we're basically at this point talking about sick care. To be honest, we're talking about sick care. At this point, we're talking about sick care. When we talk about healthcare, we're talking about you being proactive, making sure that you put in those preventive measures. That for me is really the concept of health Can you see me?
Hi. Good
Can you hear me?
afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm gonna have to do a
Yeah.
little dance for this one, everybody. This is my special. No, we'll talk about we have. Let's try and keep it professional. But just so you know, this is my special,
Right.
my special madam. I love you too, ma. I love you. Okay, so for those of you that didn't go to our website, the Fitsplurge website, or you didn't go to the Fitsplurge social media platforms, you would have missed the chance to read on Madam Nina's profile. And I'm sure some of you are wondering why. Why should I listen to her right now? Why should I take what she has to say? Why should I believe her? There are a lot of people coming up on social media and giving us tips and giving us, quacks, giving us, definitions and terms and guidelines. But why? We are only going to listen to, reputable sources. We're going to only listen to the experts and the authorities. And so that is why it is very, very important that we take the time to introduce you to the person that you have in front of you so you know that you're talking to an expert. So, Madam Nina, if you don't mind, I would love for you to do a little Let's Meet You. I know that if I start talking about you now, you'll just be saying, hearing pure water, it is one, you'll now be like, hey, she wants to bust my head. So it's not flattery, it's actually the fact that she's very knowledgeable, she's very experienced, she's seasoned, she's been in the game for such a long time. If I had to put my chest and tell you, listen to this lady, she knows about immunity. When we talk about immunity and exercise, she's an expert, but I would like for her to introduce herself. So, Madam
Okay,
Nina,
thank
please, let's
you,
meet you. Thank
Jane.
you.
Thank you, Fitsplurge. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Okay, like you said, I'm Nina Chigbo. I'm a physical therapist first. Then I also delved into public health. So my passion is physical activity in all ramification. So I use it in the clinic, I use it outside, I use it everywhere. And now when we say physical activity, we also interchange it with exercise for public discussion. But really, physical activity has to do with just moving your muscles. And then when we go to exercise, we'll now give you a structured pattern of doing it. So this is basically what I do in the clinic. My research is based on physical activity. I'm also a Humphrey Fellow. So my research led me to the US for a complete year. I was doing research with the Center of Disease and Control. So I got some experience from there. I worked with fellows at the Emory University, got a lot of experience from there. Then came back to Nigeria, and it's been one level of glory to the other. It's always been God. I've had opportunity.
Been
It's just been
giving
God.
us.
Yes, and then I also serve in my professional association. I'm the vice president of the Nigeria Society for Physiotherapy. And I also chair the COVID-19 task force of the Nigeria Society of Physiotherapy. I'm a mom. I'm married. I have 3 kids. My boys are outside playing football now. They also they're active. Yeah, so my husband, he builds his muscles, he lifts weights, he's a bodybuilder. He's an engineer by profession, but his hobby is exercising too. What exercise do I like? I don't like running. So,
Course.
once you say, can people think about running? I like to skip. I skip a lot. I can skip and get up to 1,000. I just like being airborne. So that's it for me for now. So that is who I am. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Exercise, when we talk about immunity, when we talk about boosting the immune system, how important is exercise?
No, I'm here, but the network is dragging. Yes, dragging. The network is not too good.
Hope we haven't lost her. Please stay with us. Yes, she.
Just walk around a bit.
The network is something else. I hope it allows us to move forward. Oh, okay. Okay, so the first question, ma'am, I'm
Okay,
sure
I
you
didn't get
didn't
your
get
first
it.
question.
But we managed to have a session. Okay. Can you hear? Okay. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, the first question is,
No,
ma'am,
no,
did you
I
get the
didn't.
first question? Okay, the first question was, how important is exercise with regards to boosting the immune system? What is the role of exercise when it comes to boosting the immune
Okay, yeah,
system?
that's a very smart question because when we say we boost the immunity with exercise, people always ask how. Okay, so certain things happen when you exercise.
Yeah,
So first maybe we should define what exercise is. Like I started saying earlier on, yeah, we know what
exactly.
physical activity is. Anytime you engage your muscles and you expend energy is physical activity. But now for exercise, the exercise experts regulate the amount of exercise that produces certain results in the body. So now research has shown us that when you regulate exercise, a particular level will elicit reactions from your body. And when it comes to the immune system, that is your body's defense mechanism against diseases like the COVID-19 and every other health issue you have. So when you exercise the right way, the right amount, these hormones are kicked into action in the body. One of the things that the body does is that, of course, you know that when you exercise and you raise your heart rate, blood pumps around the body. This exercise also causes certain cells and hormones in your body to come out. Their levels will increase. For one, certain cytokines in the body, certain natural killer cells in the body, and these cells, they are now empowered to come out from the lymphoid tissues, where they are usually stored, waiting for disease organisms to get to maybe your spleen or the lymph nodes. But now they are pushed out into the circulatory system and they go around the body. Interestingly, they are like, I teach in the teaching hospital. So I usually explain it this way to my students. I liken it to the policemen. Actually, these cells, they go, when they are released, they go on surveillance and they go around the body. You don't need to be sick before you start doing what I'm saying now. When it goes around your body, it has the ability to dictate cells that have viruses attached to them, even cancer cells, and then these natural killer cells and other white blood cells, they go and they kill off these faulty cells. And then you're better, you're living longer, and you don't know why. It's because of the exercise. This is what exercise has been able to elicit in the body, you know. And then, of course, we know all the other benefits of keeping you fit and trim and having stronger bones, stronger cardiovascular system that will help you fight whatever nature throws your way. But more importantly, it strengthens the work of the immune system. And that is what you need to fight off diseases. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. I think that was really self-explanatory, even though, there were technical terms. I love the fact that, you broke it down to a level that anyone, like a layman, should be able to understand. So, very well done. Thank you for that. So the next question would be, okay, so who should exercise? Who are the people that should be excluded? Who are the people that we should say, okay, these people exercise, these ones don't exercise?
Okay, so meet Boston. Everybody should exercise. And then you ask me, oh, if I'm so sick and all that, well, that's what I do. I work with very sick patients. And we've noticed that exercising also helps them. And this is where the expertise comes in. There's no one size fits it all in exercise. You can, like I'm talking now, I'm not saying everybody just go out and start running or jogging or lifting weights. No, there's something we call exercise prescription. And in exercise prescription, you're taking into account several things. This is the difference between the layman and the physiotherapist. As an exercise expert, we're taking into cognizance the medical history, your lifestyle patterns, so many things come into planning an exercise program for you. So on that, I will tell you that everybody should exercise. And having explained how exercise, no matter how little, elicits response from the immune system, you must agree with me that everybody should exercise. And you see, naturally, God made it in such a way that you exercise, whether you like it or not, unless you're bedridden or you choose not to move. As children, you see, they always run around. It's a natural force, sort of. You can't keep them still. They are moving, they are crawling, they are jumping. That's the way nature planned it. Then as we get older, you see that our sedentary lifestyles kick in the moment you get a good job, you have people serving you, you don't trek again, you have your car, you're in an air-conditioned office, as madam, you have house helps and all that, and that's really when all the weight start packing on and all the diseases start coming in. But if you're careful, there are ways of going around this by just keeping yourself active. Now, the very sick people, funny enough, like I said earlier, I deal with very sick patients and we regulate their exercise because we found out that if you leave, I wouldn't want you to do this experiment, but then if you leave somebody in a confined room and the person just lays down and does nothing but lie down and eat and maybe talk a while, within 2 weeks, you will notice total body deconditioning. The person gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So you see, even in the hospitals, when we have very sick patients, we graduate the exercise. You can start from just sitting up on the bed, standing, and taking a few steps, and then you see the person progressing. Like I said, I work with cancer patients. Some of them are really sick. And then it's amazing when we're called in, we're able to get them off the bed, they walk around, they're able to do their daily activities, and they're so excited about it. Now, for the aged people, you might think, oh no, my grandma, she shouldn't exercise, my grandfather. No, even the geriatric population, they should exercise. The only difference, and I hope as we discuss, we'll get to that point, is how much exercise, how little or how much is too much, and what is the best exercise. We quantify these things, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody should exercise.
Okay, so I think, yes, I think that was a very elaborate, detailed answer. I love the fact that you didn't just say everybody should exercise, but you went on and you broke it down as to why and who and how. So, but still talking about how, let's bring it back to the concept of boosting the immune system. We have a variety of exercise programs, exercise types. So what kind of exercise would you say specifically are effective in boosting the immune system?
Any exercise you do in the right amount can elicit response from the immune system. So we have things like you can do cardio exercises, walking, jogging, running, or using the Stairmaster. When you go to the gym, you can do certain cardio exercises. Then you also have the resistive exercises. When you lift some weights, you either use your body or you lift weights. Once we say resistive exercises or weight exercises, the females always go like, no, I don't want to do that. No, but you can actually work with you. You're using your body weight. And all that can elicit response from your immune system.
Okay, so we are going to say in terms of this exercises, are there any specific considerations in terms of the duration, the frequency, the intensity? What are the recommendations?
Is where I have a huge concern.
Okay,
No, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay, beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can hear you.
so
Yes.
this question, it just hits right at the heart of the matter. We've had instances where people just jump out and they start exercising and they have very adverse effects. We are not an advocate for it. So there are considerations before you start an exercise program. If you've not been exercising And then today you hear Jane and Nina say you should exercise. Not just pull out your canvas, your exercise shoes, and jump Eureka and hit the road. No, you should start slow. You should start slow. And then you need to get yourself checked out. So many people have when you come to the clinic, we'll subject you to an exercise stress test and is under a controlled environment. So if anything is going wrong, we're there. I didn't mention that I'm also a certified basic life support health worker. So where everybody that works in my lab, they're able to do this. So if anything goes wrong, we can sustain the person's life until real emergency care comes in. So
Yeah.
we are prepared for such emergencies. But now,
Please, sorry, please, sorry to just cut you on that part. No, when she talks about basic life support, is really, really important. I don't want us to gloss over it and jump to the next point. I just want to throw more light on it, because do you know that we have to put a disclaimer here, because it would feel like we said everybody can exercise, and then you take your aged mom and you take her to the gym, and right there she breaks down, she goes into a syncope, and there is no experienced person that can resuscitate her. She's going to die right there. So that part where she talked about, grading exercises and making sure that everyone does what is perfect for them, because it is now prescribed. Also, when you categorize some people as sick, let's say maybe COVID people or COVID patients or whatever, then there's a licensed professional there, like she said. It means that if in the course of exercising, maybe the patient is asthmatic or hypertensive or anything, there is something actually going wrong, she can stand right there and resuscitate. It is very, very important. That's what she means by basic life support. I'm sorry, Ma. Please, I hope you didn't lose your train of thought.
Perfect. Thank you for helping me there. Yeah, it's really very important. We've had national embarrassment where organizations call people for interviews and then they tell people to run to test their fitness. I'm like, who does that? And of course, usually have people fainting, people dying.
Who does that?
I mean, where there are over almost 10,000 registered physiotherapists in Nigeria. I mean, call us. We are there to help you. This is what we do. This is our life, Yeah. I'm telling you. I mean, you see, that's one of the reasons why I went into public health. In public health, you see people neglecting the aspect of using physiotherapy to manage some of these non-communicable and even the communicable diseases. And that was what really pulled me to public health. I mean, I want people to know that if you have any concerns, look for a physiotherapist around you, or just make contact with the Nigeria Society of Physiotherapy. We have people qualified, certified, and we train them and we monitor them. And if we say meet this person, you're sure that you're safe with the person. And most of us are certified in basic life support. So if anything shows up unexpectedly, they can handle it. That's the important thing.
It's almost of a licensed physiotherapist who is going to put you, and especially like is a licensed physiotherapist whose job most times is rehabilitating people who are not exactly healthy. They also understand that things can go wrong. So yes, the requirement is for them to be able to fix anything that can go wrong. So yes, they're educated on basic life support. So it's important. That's the difference. It's important that if the person is not apparently healthy, if there's any comma, apostrophe, question mark, make sure that it is a licensed physiotherapist that is handling that person. And even when you're not done your check, you've not done your pre-check, make sure that you do that pre-check. You could look healthy, you could go on and think that there's nothing wrong, but if your vital signs are checked and you have, let's say, increased blood pressure, and you go ahead to exercise, you could have a stroke right there and then. It's not rocket science. It just makes sense to know that if you're in a compromised state and you go to do unprescribed exercise or rigorous activity that goes to challenge your condition, things could get really worse. So yes, I'm really loving this discussion because I'm very passionate. When I came here, my whole goal was to just sit down here, sit at the foot of the elder, and just allow her to do all the talking. But I can't. I won't. because this hits home. This hits home.
We have an initiative in Nigeria here termed "Exercise is Medicine." We want people to know that exercise is given out in dosages.
Yeah.
There's a dose response thing to it. The amount you take can determine whether you exercise is medicine. I'm an ambassador for exercise is medicine too in Nigeria here. Yeah, and that's what we're all about. Teaching people how to exercise the right way. There's a simple thing I usually like telling people that are not experts. How do you grade exercise? We grade exercise in 3 categories. We have using intensity. We have low intensity exercises, moderate intensity, and high intensity. None is bad. It just depends on how you use it. Now, if you have not really been exercising, you can start off with the low intensity exercises. How do you know you're doing low intensity exercises? It doesn't matter the type. You can be walking, running, jogging, skipping. You can keep it at low intensity. Any exercise or physical activity that you do and you're able to sing while doing it, just know that is a low intensity exercise. And most times, you're safe. Low intensity for 30 minutes is not going to be the same. Your heart is really racing. You're not out of breath, but you know that something is going on with your body. Now, you might not be able to sing while doing that exercise, but you can still talk and make complete sentences. You know that you have entered what we call the exercise level. And research has shown that when you're doing the moderate intensity exercise, that all the benefits kick in. But remember, nothing at all. Okay, then you get to the level where if you're doing any exercise and you're panting, you're gasping for breath, you can't make complete sentences. Singing is out of the question. Just know that you're now doing intense
high intensity.
that. If you break it down, you're talking about 30 minutes to 1 hour of moderate intensity exercise 5 days of the week. Or you could do 75 to 150 minutes of the vigorous intensity exercise, you know. So, and that would be like 15 to 30 minutes of that 5 days a week. And then you also, that is for aerobics. You also have to do the strength training. Like I said, you either use your body weight or you use extra weights like the dumbbell. Slim and not be fit. We are talking two different things. That are slim and they feel, no, I'm fit, I'm healthy. No, please, you need to exercise to condition your heart and your muscles to be able to take any sudden stress. So if you jump from no exercising or low exercise and jump into very high intensity exercise, your body will react.
Definitely.
And how you do this is you're doing your regular moderate intensity exercise, and then for like 1 minute, you take it up high that you're slightly out of breath, and then you bring it down. How do I explain this? Let's take, for instance, I'm walking. Because you're able to bring down your heart rate to the moderate intensity level. And watch that. We in the clinics, we have ways of calculating and predicting how your heart will react to exercise, and then we're able to keep you in a safe range. Like I said, no one size fits all. You can't take somebody's exercise prescription and use it for yourself, because different things are happening inside of you. Your heart is reacting in different ways. So when the physiotherapist checks you and does the exercise testing, we can say for this age, all things being equal, having not having any comorbidities, or if you have comorbidities, we also have exercise prescription for special populations. It's not the same as they are apparently healthy. And then we can say your moderate intensity range is from this to this number of heartbeats. We use the heartbeats, and then you exercise. And if you have gadgets that can help you monitor your heart rate, that is wonderful. But if you don't, just use what I said earlier, considering your breath. Can you sing? Can you talk? Can you not talk? That's a a home girl's way of exercising and still having fun. That you don't have to go and buy all the latest technology to exercise. So let me not hear you're not exercising because you cannot afford Fitbit. I've given you expo on how to
Or you
to the
cannot afford
gym.
to go to the gym. Or the other one that people say is, there's no gym around me. There's no gym around my area.
No, you can do it in your house. I've given you expo.
All right, ma.
So you can do it.
Yeah. Very well done, ma. Very well done. I think I mean, wow. We can stay on and talk about this because there's so much to talk about. And I just realized that this 30-minute slot will not be enough. It cannot be enough. And maybe we can do something in the future. Hint, hint, Fitsplurge. We can talk about exercise prescription. Really, I think we should bring Madam Nina back because I feel like there's so much that she wants to pour. And, you know, this is so restricted to immunity. And I feel like, I don't know, if we didn't if we didn't have a second session, you know, coming up in a few minutes, I would have just said, you know what, that Fitsplurge will deal about me not keeping to time later, but let's just continue. But can we just do it in a nutshell? Like in a nutshell, just summarize and let's tie it up, and let's hope that we will have another chance where we come and talk in detail about exercise prescription. Did you hear me? I said, in conclusion, in a nutshell, like final, the takeaway point, the most important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, madam. I think we've had a lot of takeaways today, and we really have. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for honoring this invitation and making our time to, you know, sharing your wealth of knowledge. I had such a good time doing this with you, and I'm really, really looking forward to another session, perhaps in the nearest future. And hint, hint, NCDC, Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Health, National Assembly. I'm going to call all of you. I'm going to call all of you out. I'm going to tag as many people as possible on this when we share it. Please, everyone, share it. This is a discussion that you can see that she's talking about exercise in a way that you know that this is something that should be spoken about, should be talked about on bigger platforms. I mean, the Fitsplurge platform today, the message, it feels like the message should be taken beyond this. So yes, so I think we have a lot of work to do. The responsibilities to try to get the word out there and to call on the major stakeholders. Exercise is important. We need people to go out there and talk about the importance of exercise. Thank you so much, Madam Nina, for doing this with us, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Um, very briefly, we're going to be taking